Much better. That works. Okay, that works. Morning. Boom. Boom. How's it going, Retro? Good morning on Friday morning. The day before the solstice. I think it's the solstice is tomorrow, or is it today? I think it's tomorrow. 21st of December. More importantly, it's my son's birthday, so but I was sure it was the 21st was the solstice, but I could be wrong. I couldn't my memory's not that good. I think it's like I can't remember when the equinox is in March, and I think the summer solstice is in June sometime. I can't even remember. Oh, hope you're doing well. If it freezes, yesterday I don't know what was going on. Complete the Wi-Fi kept crashing constantly, and then I would go to like do the old run Windows diagnostic, and then it wouldn't even find my modem or nothing. It would just default to like an old, oh, you're here, like an old setting, like at a Holiday Inn somewhere, and oh, if you want to connect to the Holiday Inn in Toronto, and I'm like, no, I'm not there. I'm home. But anyway, it is what it is. Grab your coffee. Hopefully everybody shows up today. Not much happened since Wednesday, really. A couple things. Well, we could talk more about the hit in Russia, the Russian general getting taken out, and we can talk about because there's been more talk since then. There's been I can't remember when it exactly happened, but I think when I had Wednesday show, I don't know if Vlad had commented on it or made any promises. We'll use that word. And I see this morning that our good friends across the pond have hit the capital of the Dancing Fools country, or the NATO proxy country, or whatever you want to call it. The U. We'll call it the U. And that fella that was on the channel on Wednesday, Joey, had asked me about Canadian farmers moving to Russia. So I looked into that a bit. And funny enough, there's moving to Russia doesn't sound too bad. Funny enough. Now, I suppose we can start with that. Once we'll give it a few more minutes. Go heat up your coffee there, Retro. I hope your AI stuff is going nicely. You've seen the Jetson AI stuff and all that, right? All the reworking of Star Wars, basically making all the women in the videos big, like making Leia big tittied, and it's pretty funny. But I mean Jane Jetson, yeah. Here's Jane Jetson. Yeah, it's amazing, eh? Like I don't know what's going on. Well, I do know what's going on. It's the AI algorithm has picked up on the fact that, I'm working out. I'm doing a lot at the gym, and I developed bad habits. So I was going on and I was downloading, or not downloading, but watching deadlifting videos of people at the gym deadlifting. So but for whatever reason, it kind of morphed over to females deadlifting and female bodybuilders. I don't know. I guess it's because I'm a guy channel, so it's trying to pimp that into me. But what I notice is a lot of the videos now a good portion. You can tell that there's something about the symmetry of the body that, because bodies aren't perfect. Like if you look at Schwarzenegger, the Black Plowman, his body is not perfect. You see him in his front double bicep pose, or his, like, he's like, even me, if you split me down the middle, and I have got a bad side and a good side. My left bicep is much different, but the AI shit, like some of the chicks that they put forward, is freaking nutty. Like some of the like, you know, it's like, okay, you know, you can tell real as opposed to fake. It especially on girls, right? Hot female villains are amazing. You know, like if you want to call her a villain, but Michelle Pfeiffer, if you can do a vamp on Michelle Pfeiffer from Batman 2, you know, with the Penguin and all that, with Michael Keaton, you know, I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer is as Catwoman in you know, yeah, Haley Berry, but nah, Michelle Pfeiffer for me. You know, Haley Berry's hot, but that's just my 2 pennies. But anyway, the AI's gone crazy with the women bodybuilders, and it's just like, oh, come on. Really? You know, nobody's perfect like that. So anyway, it's pretty easy to differentiate between the real and the fake. You know, it just, if it doesn't look true, it's not true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, keep it secret, because you know these fucking pricks out here today will steal your ideas just like nobody's business. The grifters, you know, the e-beggars, the e-stealers, whatever. If you've got a good idea or a good whatever, they're gonna take it, and they're gonna try and, you know, put it on their channel or whatever, and or take what you have and then you know, modify it or whatever. Yeah, yeah, the interwebs, man. The interwebs. It's just a toilet. Okay, so we've been going for about like a few minutes. I just wanted to talk. Okay, so that fella was talking about moving to Russia, and I just a couple of points here is like, you know, house prices, getting a work visa. There's more women in Russia, and they have a large GDP. I mean, there are people moving to Russia. There are people leaving Canada, leaving America, and leaving the European Union. You know, God knows where else, for Russia. Now, I don't know what their like. It says, like when I read on the interwebs, that it's not that hard to immigrate or emigrate, whatever word you want to use, to Russia. But um, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Is there a test like for America? I don't know if I asked this. Is there a test? Like me, Joe Michael wants to move to Americaville, you know, and I want to be an American, you know, whatever, for whatever reason. Is there a test? I think there's a test, because if I can remember correctly, when my stepmother moved up from America, that there was a test for her in Canadian. I could be wrong. My recent studies have led me to believe a crime syndication runs the Ukraine. Oh yeah, yeah, that worries me. You know, you remember the movie Sum of All Fears, right? The original material that they got was from an old something or other from somewhere. So, and if Ukraine, which we know is just a completely criminal, like corrupt shithole, that it wouldn't surprise me if they were selling material to whomever or any kind of group of individuals. And then we could comment on the drone story about the sniffer drones, and that's a very plausible scenario. That's a very plausible scenario. Now, uh, for me, if anything happens in America, any kind of like sum of all fears, football game gets blown up or whatever, what have you, um, and all fingers start pointing at Iran, we'll know who did it. My immediate attention will go to the shitty little country in the sandbox uh, with their list of 7. So that's all I can say about that. Now, I'm hoping that saner heads prevail, but we don't know. They're not. These people are playing for keeps. And if we can believe what we're hearing about the reports out of the Ukrainian sandbox, is that there was a bit of a retaliation for the slain general, and Russia hit Kiev. So I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just speculating because I just read it this morning. It's very possible. Like more than the agricultural, because it is quite an ag place from what I've read, and this is like that everybody talks about it, that it's, and if you look at like when you watch I watch what's his pickle, Monkey Works, and I watch Military Summary, Dima, and I go to a few other channels when they do a commentary on what's going on over there. And what I notice is that a lot of the shit, a lot of the pictures when you're looking over it, at whatever 100,000 feet, whatever satellite imagery they have, there's a lot of farmland. So I know that that's there now. We know about the biolabs. We know about what else? About like the nuclear radiological aspect of it. And then with this latest foray, with this guy being killed, assassinated, it wasn't for nothing. Now they're trying to downplay it. Oh, he was now. The Uke Nazis would tell you that he was taken out because he was tried in absentia in the Uke for using chemical weapons. Anyway, bullshit. We know that's bullshit. We don't have to go any farther than that. But that's the story, because that's what I get from the layperson that I talk to. Like when I'm out in amongst the Joe Blows and the ones that watch CNN, CTV, Global, NBC, all that mainstream propaganda networks, so that they can have something just a go-to. If you say anything, it's like, no, he was taken because of this. So, and that's just the way it is. Now, I was looking more into that guy, and I think, and I don't know why, but something in my gut tells me that the guy that was killed in America, in New York. Now, I have no evidence. My gut is just telling me that there could have been a connection. I don't know why. We're trying to just play it down for that. He was a shithead, and that he denied, grandma getting her claim, and that's why Buddy, lost his shit. This patsy, I believe, or this willing dupe or whatever, he could have been ready to spill the beans on something. It could be as simple as that. And like I say, something happens and a story has to ensue. The fella in Russia, something happened, and the story is, well, he was taken out because he gassed people in the Ukraine, but not really. And then there is connection between the biolabs and the crime family in America. So if it's that, then yes, all players, just like in casino, why take a chance? Take them all out. Why take a chance? If there's nobody left, then there's nobody left. There's no story to be. It's this will be the story, and that'll be the end of it. You know, if there's no metal from the building to analyze, and there's all the debris and everything was bundled up and taken elsewhere, almost like when I think back to when I did my Swissair thing. I was always in that plane crash. I was always of the opinion that that was a canceled check, and then in our water, and then you guys just came up, took over the whole job, and then basically took your vacuum cleaners and sucked up the whole bottom of the ocean there, took everything away, and it's gone. Yeah. Hey Archie, good to see you, buddy. So yeah, when in doubt, just like in casino, might take a chance. Might take a chance. Why take a chance? You know? Oh, I'm paying for last night. I was a junk food junkie last night. My stomach hurts so bad. It's not like it's sore. I had so much shit food last night. Fucking Christmas, man. Oh my god. So the drama and the shit show goes on. I listened to some of Mr. Vladimir's talk. Sometimes I think, once again, I'm pretty sure we're being played like for suckers, and I in something in my gut tells me that Russia's in on it as well. Maybe I'm just paranoid, but there's a lot of talk going on right now. A lot of talk. The drones, alien disclosure. Now we've got everybody. There's something for everybody. Oh, and I had to mention. I've got to give the Orange Man one of these. I got to give Orange Man Bad one of these. The troll that he just laid down on us, like the 51st State troll, that was epic, because it even has Peter Poilievre chiming in now. I think he's like our he doesn't strike me as stupid like Trudeau, or Jughead or whatever. Well, Jughead's not stupid. Trudeau is stupid. But I think Peter Poilievre is just playing into the panty twist. He's playing into the panty twist people. Because that was an epic troll. Hit as God people up here like is shit. They're just chewing their tongue out of their head. How dare he? It's almost like Greta Thunberg. How dare you? How dare he? It was an epic. You gotta epic. Way to go, Mr. T-Man. Epic troll, man. Peter Poilievre's chiming in because he has to. He's got to be. He wants to win the next federal election, so he'll be kowtowing to those who have to be kowtowed to. Meanwhile, still doing the tough talk. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna make our schools. Whatever, and because he's a conservative, right? But I don't trust him, not at all, man. Not one single bit. But the consensus, we'll just go back to the the Russian scientist general that was killed. The consensus is that it was, not for the reasons that Ukraine has said, but it wasn't a very smart thing to do, and I'll agree with that. Now, you've got the desperation angle, but I'm more of an opinion that it was something bigger, and it could be all connected to whatever, and that he had to be taken out. Now, when I say I connect the American CEO, you know, I don't know. Big Pharma, maybe he was connected to the bio. I don't know. I don't know. We know that the Biden crime family was, so we can just leave that at that, and we'll just go from there. But very interesting. Very interesting. Meanwhile, drones, the drone, and somebody had written drones is to uh, have our eye somewhere else while what's going on in the Syrian sandbox right now, and that it's just being divvied up, carved up, and everybody is while everybody's watching everything else. That place is just being literally like a cake. And I'm not, and everybody's, well, all of the big players are going to benefit. You know who's not going to benefit is the average Joe in Syria, who, because nothing's changed. If it was for what it was supposed to be, then all of the people that ran away from that brutal dictator would be going home. So we can just put that frickin' story to bed and say no. Something, but the drone thing, like I said, I'm not gonna discount the sniffer, whatever bullshit that's going on. You guys hearing me okay? There's no stuttering. There's no circle of death. Everything is good. It seems that the numbers are crashing, going up, down, and then it just seems to lock up. So the internet was really weird yesterday. So I hope everything's going well. But yeah, the assassination talk. Oh, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Um, some more talk about the USS Liberty. Okay, good. Yeah, yesterday I had to plug it in the laptop. I had to plug it into the internet box. The Wi-Fi was just crashing every 5 minutes. It's almost like I was being trolled yesterday by AI or something. Something just was not. The computer was just dying. That's why I was worried this morning. It's been off all night, so I don't know. But yeah, the USS Liberty's been garnering some. Everybody's like, I think people are starting to realize that that shitty little country in the sandbox has been playing everybody, anybody here is included too, for suckers, and using using other people to do their bidding, as it were. And then I think people are trying to get it in the forefront to say, hey, these people are not our friends. They have effed us over since 1967, and it hasn't stopped. And I think that that's one of the reasons. And funny enough, I'll just segue into love her or hate her. I'm not a fan of Candace Owens. Okay, elaborate on the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing. But just as I talk about the Candace Owens thing, she's bringing light to, like, because they've got this word that they keep bantering back and forth, and they're accusing everybody of it. And I'm not, well, like, no, you're being disingenuous. You're not and then you've got the asshats like Shapiro, and that another, most of the, I don't know what you call them, but Crispin Constantine type knuckleheads that are anyway. I don't have to get into it. I don't really want to get into it, because it just these people are beyond the pale, in my opinion. But anyway, but yeah, Candace Owens, what she said on Piers Morgan's show was pretty interesting, I would say. And with whatever else is going on, because people have short memories, or people just don't know. Like, I've mentioned the USS Liberty to people. I've mentioned the Lavon affair. I've mentioned, certain things, and there's nothing there. There's no, what are you talking about? That kind of okay. Oh, so it's a show. Schwarzenegger and his daughter are spooks, or the show is that some guy and his daughter are spooks, and it's Schwarzenegger and on hospice. Maybe I'm confused. Screw your freedom, Schwarzenegger. I remember watching him in the first time I got, because I was a bodybuilder. Before, well, I can't remember when Conan came out, but when I started getting into weightlifting and bodybuilding was, the early 80s, I would have to say, maybe, yeah, the early 80s. I think Conan came out in 82 and Terminator came out in 84, if I'm not mistaken. But I watched the documentary Pumpin' Iron with, Schwarzenegger, all the old school bodybuilders, Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, Franco Columbu, Sergio Oliva, Bob Birdsong, or not Bob Birdsong, but Frank Zane, all of those, all the old school. And all I remember, and my takeaway from that for the Black Plowman, Schwarzenegger, was how much of a dick he was to Lou. And, it just came off to me that, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's done his bit, but when especially then we came up with the "Screw Your Freedom" video, and now he's just got egg all over his face. I don't know. I'll check this out if this is a FUBAR. New Arnold Schwarzenegger show is what I've been watching. Okay, FUBAR. Okay, I'll have to look at that. Remember the Liberty. Remember the Liberty. Yeah, because there was something in, they were supposed to release a whole bunch of information on it, and they didn't. Or it's like another one of these things, well, we don't really want, because there's some, for whatever stupid reason. Well, of course we know the reason, because it'll bear us the piss out of the shitty little sandbox country. And well, you've got the ones that are just completely brain dead and don't give a shit about American sailors being killed or whatever, what have you. There are those that will care. Now, I don't know. I once again, I would comment on what I was saying on Wednesday. I'm holding out a hope that the T-Man does something. But there again, that little country has its tentacles into everything, has its cancerous, tumorous threads just rolling through everything. Yeah. Hasn't he had a heart transplant? I always call him the boy from Brazil. You remember that movie, The Boys from Brazil, with Gregory Peck, Guttenberg, Laurence Olivier, I think. A really great cast of people. Great, in my opinion, a really great movie. For a, well, we all know since the 40s, or since the late 40s, early 50s, there's been a constant onslaught of feeling sorry for the sandbox. And then in the movies, like I can remember when, like if you can remember far back in the 70s, like see, my recollections are the 70s for movies and stuff like that. And like there were certain things you could say, and you could, like in Porky's, there was a certain guy in the movie and they weren't too kind to him. And then, but then you started to see it shift over to like School Ties with Brendan Fraser and stuff like that. And, the sob story movies. And then, and then we look at, and if you look at our real history, like 72 and stuff like that, while I don't condone what happened in 72 at the Olympics, there was a reason it happened. Didn't just happen for nothing. So I look at Candace Owen and all this USS Liberty stuff, and I'm like noticing that, I've been watching a lot of videos and reading a lot about how we've been manipulated into doing things for another entity, and that's not good. That's not good. Is that like True Lies? I love that movie. Jamie Lee Curtis. It's gone a bit bonkers now, but there was a time, like what's her name? The one in Demolition Man, kind of little mousy face. I can't remember her name. It's just escaping me right now. But anyway, so as we're distracted about drones and people getting killed and more, feeling sorry for the sandbox while they're murdering women and children, we've got some shenanigans going on. I was reading some stuff about Romania and Georgia, and I don't know those two countries from Adam. I checked. I had to check the map to be sure, and then of course, as soon as I checked the map, I went, "Oh, okay, there you go." Pretty obvious why those places are being shaken up, because they seem to be on the border of a very large country with some fast missiles. So once again, the back and forth, even on some of the places, some of the channels that I go to try and garner and glean some information, it's it's the debate, right? Oh, this is why it's happening, and then this is why it's happening, and then now somewhere in the middle, you've got to find the truth. But if I can take anything away, is that uh, there's a certain country in Eurasia that everybody hates right now because it's run by Hitler, and they're trying to encircle it and whittle it down. And we all know about the plans of men who want to destabilize and to bring this country to its knees or whatever, and all for somebody else's bottom end. Now, are we being played in the sense that they're part of it? And like I've said before, we're going to rollerball world where this place will be the tech, this will be the petroleum, this will be the ag, this will be the manufacture. Is this what we're gonna? Are we sectioning up like the world, as it were? I mean, simply enough, if you think about it, the whole continent of Africa could be the resource pit, which it is. I mean, I was in Liberia in the 70s, so it is a resource pit. Canada as well. So you make a couple of resource pits, and then you decide in other areas that this is going to be the place where we do this. This is going to be the place where we do that, and then you all said and done. While we're chasing drones and arguing about who was worse in World War II or who was better, they're just sectioning up the planet and getting everything ready, and everybody's on board, and we're just being played. All the men and women are all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players, and that we're just being set up once again. Pick a team, belly paint, whatever, but it doesn't matter, right? Like if you look at hockey or NFL, every football team belongs to the NFL, and they're all beholden to one entity. Yeah, it does seem like that, and that's why I'm not here to like everybody says, oh, you're pro Putin or you're a Putin apologist. I get that myself, and I'm like, no, I just see it for what it is, but I don't discount the fact that he may be part of it as well. Syria is being carved up right now as we speak. That's a given. Everybody's it's a thing. You know, I mean, the Americans are in there right now with their base. The Russians still have their naval base. The Turks are in there, or the Kurds, or whatever, what have you. The Israelis have pushed right in. You know, and this is where we find ourselves, and that's why I don't believe that there's going to be a big. If there is a big global conflict, it's the final push to get all the bit players out so that we can establish the big names. There will be just like after World War II, there was a couple of players that were left over after everybody else was decimated. You know, everybody else, like after World War II, a whole shitload of countries were decimated. But the GBR was okay, USA was okay, you know. That's what I'm saying. Well, the GBR got beaten up pretty good, but not as bad as France. Not that I've read. You know, so I think that. Hey JC, good to see you, brother. Nanu Nanu, may you live long and prosper. So that's the way I that's my gut telling me that we're being played again and again, like, as we've been played since probably Moses's time or whatever, since the Romans, whatever, since that last empire, because they owned everything. Then it got all screwed up, and now I think that it could be simply just a somebody wants the rollerball world, and that's what it is. And then you'll have the elite slaves that will be the clowns and the distraction for the plebe slaves, for the serf slave, the worker, the guy who works at Walmart or whatever, like that. I was watching The Matrix last night, and the ciphers. I want to be somebody important, like an actor. So you'll have the two levels of slave class. The ones, the elite slaves, and then you'll have the overlords. And this is what it'll be. Now I'm when I joke around about people moving to Russia and stuff like that, that who cares, right? Who cares? Okay, people are moving to Russia. Yay! People are moving to America. People are moving to Alberta. Most of the time, the grass is not greener on the other side of the fence. Most of the time. Now, for me, leaving Victoria and coming here, the grass was way greener. I could afford a house here. I could afford, to have a good retirement here. Whereas in Victoria, half my money would be my rent. And it wouldn't be any more cheap, as it were, if I was living in Victoria as opposed to here. Yeah, I'm in the middle of nowhere, but I have a better life here, so I came here. A lot of talk going on right now. What's your take on the drones? I mean, crap. I mean, I was listening to, I think it was on the Judge's show, Judge Napolitano. I like his show. I enjoy his a lot of the guests and a lot of the stuff that they talk about. Because he always goes to a couple of good brains. When I listen to Thomas Sowell, I love listening to Thomas Sowell. That's who should be president of the United States, Thomas Sowell, and some people like with big brains like him, like an economist. But I was listening to this. I can't remember who the guest was, but he was talking about the drones and that something is coming. There's a piece of paper that's expiring, and they've got everybody worked up about the drone thing, and it could be a simple control of the airspace. Yeah. I think so too. Like that part. That it is, but there's a reason it came out now more than anything. And I think could be to just to implement more controls over your airspace because from what I gather, according to the guest, the reason you can't just shoot a drone out of the sky is because the feds control the space, whereas the states control the ground, something like that. So if you do that, then you're doing a federal crime. You see, it's so weird, eh? Yeah, why? And here's one. Okay, I'll just say this, and I'm not like, I believe in life elsewhere, right? And I was spouting off about how our Voyager spacecraft have gotten out into interstellar space, and maybe somebody noticed or something like that. But before all the drone shit came out, like most recently, there was the orb stuff. Now, could it simply be that? Now, here's like I'm pulling this right out of my ass. So there's something to the orbs that have nothing to do with the drones itself. The orbs are the orbs, and the drones are the drones. But the drones now are out in fine form because they want to distract everybody from the orbs. Now, that's just me talking, because if we're to believe in disclosure, and that any time now, the Vulcans are going to show up and say you got it all wrong, I'm not going to argue that. But or it could be simply, we want everybody to look up the shiny thing while we're murdering generals and we're carving up Syria. It could be so many things. Yeah. Interstate commerce. Interstate commerce? Is that your answer to but why? Okay. The people have gone bonkers for this drone shit. It's all over. But there again, they've all got their lights and they're flashing, and it could be so many things. You're just trying to figure out, but the stories are being implanted. The nuke sniffer drone, Iran's bad, dirty nuke, dirty, they're looking for a broken arrow, all that stuff. Yep. That there you go. It could be simply that as well, because your states have a lot of power. It's not like up here in Canada. Canada, we're ruled by the Fed, right? Our provinces have certain power, but we are federal. Like, there's no, like our abortion law in Nova Scotia is the same in British Columbia, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. There's no drink stuff like drinking. Like for Quebec, it's 18. Alberta, it's 18. In every other province, it's 19. I think that's common. I could be wrong, and there could be others that are 18, but I know Quebec and Alberta are 18 years old. Driving a car is 16, but like in the States, you guys got no helmet states. It's helmets across for a motorcycle. It's helmets across. There's no helmet in Alberta where you can have a helmet. No, there's certain things that are, and we're more federal. Like our provinces have rights, if you will, but we're we've got the feds all over, like the RCMP are all over. So we've got that. Yeah. And that's why you always hope that, when you see some of your videos, when I watch some of the shit that's going on in Americaville, is that your sheriff of mashed potatoes in Pennsylvania is not the same as the sheriff of mashed potatoes in Texas. They're both sheriffs and they have power over their states, but one is beholden to this and one is beholden to that. That's why I love some of the sheriffs. There was one guy, I think it was the one in Florida. I think he was a sheriff, and he would just come on the, this guy's a criminal, I think that's what it is. But, our sheriffs up here are just, Danielle Smith's doing something with her sheriff program in Alberta, but our sheriffs are just process servers. Yes, they have powers of arrest, but they they don't drive around and like you guys, you know, sheriff can pull you over speeding, and you know, our guys up here, that's not what they're there for. I think they're something completely different. But I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm close to that, you know. But anyway, fucking crazy out there. So are we going to move to Russia? Probably not. I was talking about that last show. Learning Spanish was easy. Hablo español. Ici on parle français. I speak English. But to learn those languages, like that were, you know, like Greek, or it's all Greek to me, ha ha ha. Like, I think that I could probably learn how to speak it, but the alphabet is completely different, if I'm not mistaken. You know, they've got numbers for letters. You know, it's like Arabic or probably Chinese or Japanese or anything, maybe Hebrew, you know. Yeah, okay, good luck with that. No, I'm not moving to Russia. But like Joey said on Wednesday, he's not back today. I guess he didn't want to show up. There are, I typed it in. There are people moving to Russia. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not. No. If I were to, I had planned on going to Ecuador. I had planned on moving to Ecuador. And it's still a possibility, but I've got to go down there this year and find out what's going on with their government and how they're, like, I think that they're trying to pull some kind of IMF thing on the Ecuadorians. You know, they've done something so that they can, you know, take money from the biz or the IMF. If those two are cross connected somehow, and then they'll be beholden to another entity, and the people will suffer, which is always the case. Once you deal with the International Mafia Fund and the Bank of International Scumbags, your life changes. You know, and if somebody else, like, I was looking into their resources, you know, their oil and such, but right now I have to let some time go by. Yeah. Well, very large expat community in Ecuador. And from the ones that I talked to when I was in Cuenca, when Nikki and I went to Cuenca last year, and we went for that week-long holiday from Manglar Alto, and we went up into the mountains to see how it was in a Vancouver, Washington-style climate. A very large expat community, and healthcare wasn't an issue. As long as you have the Benjamins to buy the healthcare plan, you will get, and from what I gather, from the Yanks, the Canadians, the GBRs, the Great Britain types, it was better healthcare than you were getting in America, and you know, you were fast. It was faster. Now, I'm just saying what they were going with, because these were all people in my age demographic, 60 to 70, and they were all like, you know, it's not too bad. And then when I was talking to a local, the guy who our tour guide, and we were asking him about that, you know, what, you know, how much is, you know, where do you live? You know, what's your neighborhood like? And and he was like, oh, we've got 7 hospitals in Cuenca. Really? I can't remember what their population is. I'm going to say 800,000. Now, I don't know why that number just popped into my head, but it didn't seem to be a problem, you know. But I don't know. I don't know enough, you know. When I went down there, I've never really been sick when I've been down there, right? I never had to be beholden to the system, like for real, have a heart attack or whatever, you know, had to get cancer treatment or whatever like that. I don't know that. You know, most of my stuff was, you know, oh, I was stupid and I ate raw chicken. I need to go to the pharmacy. And I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed walking into the pharmacy and and not having to go to a doctor And the girl's saying, well, what's going on? Well, I've got the Hershey squirts. Oh, okay, take this. Or, like I feel like I'm heavy in my lung. My spit's green. My snot's green. Oh, okay, we'll take this. There's some simple math for simple things. Now I'm not going to go to the pharmacy for an appendectomy, so, but the healthcare doesn't seem to be too bad. So, but like I said, medical, I don't know about there was a couple that I was subscribed to their channel. I unsubscribed to them because they never replied to my comments. I hate that. And they were a small channel, but anyway, he was down there because he had some sort of throat cancer or whatever, and the care that he got down there was better than the care that they were getting in America. So that's why they were in Ecuador. Okay. Maybe they had the Benjamins. Yeah. Getting outdoors, grounding, that is a big deal. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure you could, we've all heard the horror stories. A buddy went to India for, get this done, and then he had to come back to the original country that he was from because something went wrong. They gave him a penectomy instead of a lobotomy. I'm joking. I don't know what just oh oops, or infection. The only time I've ever been beholden to with a healthcare system was when I was in Portugal. And I had my death motorcycle accident literally the day before I flew out of Canada to go to Portugal. And I was in a, full bandage, Robertson bandage, the whole 9 yards. I had, like 20 staples in the front of my leg because I had opened my leg up like a can. And I had to go and get staples removed. I had to be beholden of because the possibility of infection was insanely high. Because I had an open wound, and I was walking around in a strange place, but I had no problems, and the cost was zippo for because I had my Blue Cross card from Canada, and it was transferable over to them. So that's the only time I've ever had to deal with stuff like that. But having said that, when my buddy had his motorcycle accident, God rest you, Bob, in Ecuador, and I think I don't quote me, but I think he had a broken femur, and I think he had a broken neck, and he died on the ambulance ride to the hospital because either one or the other, either the broken neck did something while they were, the car was going up the windy roads, or the ambulance, or a bubble from the broken femur got up and then he stroked out. I don't really know. All I know is he's dead, and I don't know if let's say that would have happened in America or Canada or a Western country, would he would they have stabilized his head better? I don't know that, but but he died. So it's weird. It's different. So So yeah. Yeah. Trump trolling Canada. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Candace trolling the tribe. Love it. Absolutely love it. Remember the liberty. What did I read here? One of the stats, and because I was watching Homan, your borders are 8 million illegals in the sanctuary cities in America. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. I don't know how you're going to get rid of all those people. I have no idea. You'd need a teleporter. Just think about the infrastructure that's going to be required to do that. Like logistically, the logistics alone, that's a lot of people. I don't know if it's just a thing that they're just talking about it, because I could see it happening on a limited scale. But what they're talking about, literally would be, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, it would require like boots on the ground in your country to start going all over, and all entities would have to be involved, all of the legal entities and such to do that. It's so big. I mean, just think about taking 10 people back across the border and then just multiply it. And if you want to have continuity of evidence or possession or whatever, like, if you wanted to make sure that we rounded these 10 people up in city A, that they got to their destination in Z or Z, that you'd have to have some kind of continuity, and and because those entities would require a lot of these, the money, how are you going to pay for it? I just don't know how, I think it's just a fear porn thing too, to pit everybody against it, see something, say something. If you see an illegal, report them. And I don't know. I really don't know. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck with that. If they were to implement that here, how the hell would you get everybody? Yeah, that could work if you turn the tap off. Yeah, okay. If you turn the tap off, yeah, that means people go elsewhere. Yeah, that would, if everybody was on board. But you will have those that will say, no, I need because if I don't, I'll go under. I can't pay Whitey, but I can pay him. Simple greed, right? Simple greed. Oh, well, yeah, you got to cut off all the programs, all of the incentives you'd have to do that too as well, for all the businesses that get write-offs and whatever, and make it and make incentivize it, if that's a word, for that Joe Blow who had the job before wants to come back to that job. I don't know. I don't have the answer. Make people work again. Make America great again. Make people work again. Yeah, the drones, man. Remember the Liberty. Yeah, Trump trolling. That was an epic. I can't believe Peter Poilievre felt. Well, he's got, like I said, he's got to appeal to the people saying, like, how dare you? How dare he talk about our beautiful maple syrup loving free country that we've got. Yeah, we're getting close to going down that road of like the GVR with their thought police and coming arresting you for a post. We're close to that here in Canada. And that's another thing. If Peter Poilievre gets in with a majority government, is he gonna turn back the clock? That'll be the real test. Yeah, you can't. I have no problem. Like there's people legally here. Like, we got a new cop in town. He emigrated. I guess, is that the word? Emigrate from New Zealand. And he came here, it's all Commonwealth, right? So it's really not that problem. But he's here now, and he's from New Zealand. But he went through all the proper steps. He didn't just show up and get a job because he's got the training, blah blah blah, and he went through all the steps to come here. Yeah, do it the right way. That would be fair for everybody. But you can't just do what we've been doing, allowing it to happen at the expense of Joe Citizen, and then to take over, like I said, like in the last show, like when my brother tells me that men can't lactate. No, they can't. We know that. Like he said, like if you were to, like, my brother never left Montreal, and he's watched the change over the last 40 years, and he says, And he just tells me, Michael, it is not the same city that we grew up in at all, because of the abject, now albeit mostly legal immigration, but immigration nonetheless. And now it is made it different. We'll use that word, So, but a lot of them didn't come over for the right reasons, because now it's not the way it used to be. So that's just the way it's not what I would call Canadian anymore. Okay, there's a certain Canada, like if you guys, Archie, you're in my age demographic. I don't, Retro, you're a little younger. I've seen your pictures. JC, I don't know how old you are. But when we were uniquely Canadian, like there was a uniqueness about us, and the same thing about America. There was a uniqueness about and now it's weird. It's not what it used to be. If is that the way of the future? I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with anybody if they're here legally in the country. If everything changes organically, But I think that most of these changes have been foisted upon us by greedy entities who are only think of the bottom end, and there's not been an amalgamation more than there's been. Now you've got all kinds of different enclaves in an area that used to be like this, and of course people are pissed off. Where's my favorite restaurant? Yeah, half a century-ish. Oh, that's how old you are? Okay, cool. 50-ish? No, and there's a fella and his wife at the gym now. They're from Toronto. I always say Toronto. I hate saying Toronto. So, but they're from Toronto, and they've left. They they did the right thing, because according to him, it is completely. And he's in his 50s, or late 40s, early 50s, and he has seen the change from when he was a kid, and how it's completely gone to hell in a handbasket. Now, for whatever reason, his house was worth a kajabillion dollars, which they all are in Toronto, and he was able to sell there. You sell $1 million house in Toronto, and you come up here and you buy a $400,000 mansion, which you can do here. You've got $600,000 you got left over. That's a lot of money, and it's the same house in Toronto that you got here. Yeah, okay, it snows here. Yeah, it's different, but that's what my other buddy did. He left Edmonton. The houses went stupid, and he was able to sell his house in Edmonton for 1.2 or 1.4, whatever the hell it was. I mean, it was a long-term investment. Don't get me wrong, but now you come down here and the house across the street, which is 2-car garage, full up. I've been in its beautiful house. It's a house. I live in a fucking submarine, a trailer, but that's a house. Less than $500,000. Beautiful backyard, beautiful front yard, green space, not a big yard, but because it's mostly house over there, but 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, split level, 2-car garage with indoor greenhouse, beautiful house. I've been inside it. If I had $500,000, if I had more money, I'd have bought that place, but I could only afford this place. So, but that's, and even my shack, but yeah, no, not since COVID. Yeah, no, since the CV 1984. Wow, Okay, that's pretty well it. We're done an hour. I'm glad you guys came out. I wanted to do a show. I found that Wednesday was a real belly drop because you guys weren't here, couldn't talk, couldn't go back and forth. And also, Wednesday next week is Christmas, so there won't be a show. I'll be on the road and then at the Outlaws. Pardon me, coffee burp. And yeah, Friday. Yeah, Friday. No, so the Wednesday after will be the New Year. I'll have a show on New Year's Day. There'll be a show New Year's Day. That's for sure. Oh yeah. Yeah, Merry Christmas everybody too, eh? And Happy New Year. If I don't see another cookie or Christmas, I gorged last night. I went munchy crazy and my stomach hurts now today. It's sore. It's been stretched or whatever. I couldn't even go to the gym this morning. Yeah, beat me up. And that's another thing too. Finish on the drones and the orbs and the Voyager spacecraft being in interstellar stellar space. And if they did catch the eye of somebody going like, "Hey, what the fuck's going on over there? Let's go have a look. Let's go see what the ants are doing." You know, for whatever reason, somebody found out or whatever. You know, and then you know, like, you know, take me with you. You know. But then yeah, I don't know. We've got to fix this place. This is where we live. This is our marble. This is where the gravity works for us. You know, like think about it. I've been on the bottom of the ocean, okay? It takes a lot of things to live on a hostile environment. This is where we're from. This is our rock. So I can't, I don't think it would be, I don't know, like, you know, unless we bring a cocoon or a bubble of our own goodness to elsewhere, yeah. I don't think it would be good for us. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know, like you know, if we could take a spaceship that had a chunk of Earth on it, you know, I don't know, man. But you know, could we live on Mars? Could we live on Mars? Could we live on Mars? You know, could we do it? Anyway, I got to let it go. The battery's going to die. And I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I will do my best to have a show on the 1st of January because we're still going to be here. We're not leaving till around the 9th. Yeah, we've got to save our planet, you know, from the greed. We've got to change our ways. We've got to change our ways. I don't know how. I don't have the answer. We got to figure it out here. You know, okay. We need the USS Consequence or the USS Fire Extinguisher to come put out these fires and help us out. But we've got to do it on our own. So I think we're going to have to hit a bottom until we get out of the mire, right? The Band-Aid's got to come off. So anyway, but Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. I hope it's great. Cookies, cookies, cookies. A lot of good eating, turkey, all that stuff, whatever you do for Christmas Day. And I'll be on the road. And then, but we'll see each other on New Year's Day. And if I can have a live show before that, I will put something on, you know, let's say next Friday. It's a very good possibility, or next Saturday or whatever. We don't know. So we'll go for that. And as always, I want you to have a great holiday. As per always, it's all about family and food. Okay. So peace to you and yours. And I hope to see you on the flip side. And as always, peace, love, and grooviness.